I still remember Fate as a comfort game. Bright colors, cozy music, a town that felt like a toy box. I played it on my family's old PC when I was a kid, back when dungeon crawlers were harmless little time sinks and nothing in them ever tried to talk back. That's why I noticed immediately when something felt off. I reinstalled Fate late one night out of boredom. Same version, same files, no mods, no patches, no internet connection, just the original game. Character creation was normal. I made a scrappy-looking boy. Messy brown hair, hand-me-down armor, a face that looked permanently tired. I named him Alex without thinking. I always used that name. I chose a dog as my pet, a mutt with dull eyes and ribs showing. The town loaded in. Everything looked fine, until I went down into the dungeon. The first floor was wrong. The stone walls weren't clean anymore. They looked damp, filthy. The torchlight flickered like it was struggling to stay alive. The floor was smeared with dark shapes that didn't match the texture grid. Then I realized what I was looking at. Flesh. Piles of it, stacked against the walls. Slabs of meat fused with bone. Skulls half embedded in the stone like they had grown there. There was no blood splatter, just matter, as if the dungeon itself was digesting something. Fate never had gore. I stopped moving. The music was gone. Just a low hum, like something breathing through stone. That's when I found the NPC. It was a giant caterpillar, its segmented body coiled like a throne in a side chamber. Its skin was pale and translucent, veins pulsing beneath it. In one stubby limb, it held a hookah, blackened, cracked, leaking thick red smoke that drifted upward and refused to dissipate. When I approached, text appeared. "You look young," it said. "That is unfortunate." I tried to back away, but my character wouldn't move. The caterpillar spoke in long, scrolling dialogue boxes. It talked about Arthur Schopenhauer, about how life was a blind, grinding will that fed on itself endlessly. It talked about how suffering wasn't a mistake. It was the mechanism. Then it drifted into something else. A theory about the hollow earth. About how the world wasn't empty beneath us, but full of forgotten gods and blind things that learned to hate the light. It said we didn't descend into the earth, we were remembered by it. Then, without transition, it told me a story. Red Riding Hood. Not the fairy tale version. In this version, the wolves didn't disguise themselves, they tore her apart in the woods. Her parents found what was left days later. Pieces of red cloth tangled in teeth and bone. "Stories teach us what we deserve," the caterpillar said. Then it took a long pull from the hookah. The red smoke thickened. The screen darkened. The caterpillar's voice box changed. The text font grew jagged. The letters vibrated. "Dagon rises from the deep," it said. "The sea remembers all sacrifices." The music screeched. The textures around me bled red, stone turning to meat, walls flexing like muscle. For a split second, photographs flashed across the screen. Dead faces, real faces, eyes open, mouths frozen mid-scream. Then, everything snapped back to normal. The caterpillar was gone. The dungeon looked almost normal again, except the walls now subtly pulsed, as if I were walking through the inside of something alive. Every step felt deeper, heavier, like gravity itself was dragging me downward. As I descended, the enemies changed. Tall, shadowy figures that didn't animate properly. They screamed, not like monsters, but like people burning alive. Wooden humanoids that froze when I looked at them, but when my back was turned, they followed. They whispered my name. Alex. The loot was wrong too. I found a shotgun, rusted but functional. Then a chainsaw, teeth still wet. Weapons that had never existed in Fate. I kept going. At the deepest level, the dungeon opened into something vast and wet. A chamber that looked like the inside of a throat. The floor was slick, the walls convulsed, and there was Dagon. A colossal fish god, bloated and blind, tentacles dragging through pools of brine and viscera. I fought it with the shotgun, blasting chunks from its limbs, throwing bombs into its gills while it wailed like the ocean collapsing. When it finally died, it didn't fall. It exploded into chum. Then the screen went black. Text appeared. You think you can win? You never win. The show always goes on, and we never learn. The gods cannot die, you think. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. You must be so naive. We know where you live, Alex. I shut off the computer. A week later, my mom died in a car crash. No explanation, no witnesses, just impact and silence. When I finally turned the computer back on, there was a single message on the desktop. No sender, no file type. There is no bottom of the dungeon. Life is a vicious, never-ending cycle. I uninstalled Fate that night. Sometimes, when it's quiet, I still hear dungeon music humming beneath the walls. And sometimes I swear something is digging its way up,